preferences end. Bucks already with the league-leading 26 touchdowns. Wind not going to be a factor like the wind was last weekend in Buffalo. It'll be 63 and sunny for this one. Michael Vick is back with us now. All right, Mike, who needs the win more on Sunday, Seahawks or Bills?
I think the Seahawks need to win more. It's very important that they keep that momentum going. The momentum that they've created up into this point, being 6-1. Obviously, a win against a team like the Buffalo Bills give you that confidence moving forward, because the Buffalo Bills are a good football team, and it's not going to be an easy task. But in order for us to continue to cook, like you just said, to keep cooking and stay in that MVP race, this is a game that he has to win. And then looking forward over the next couple of weeks, I think they play the Rams and the Cardinals. So to get 3 wins, on the record right now and be 9-1 potentially, I think sets them up, for the postseason. So it's very important for Russell. It's very important for the defense to play with confidence and play better as they get Jamal Adams back and some new faces in the lineup, just for the confidence moving forward of the overall team. So I think the Seahawks need this more than the Buffalo Bills, hands down.
So here's why I'm so excited for this game, and I think you can argue it's the best game of the early Sunday slate. And I promise that this isn't a cop-out. I think they both wildly need this game. I think it's critically important to both teams' goals this year because these teams' goals are different. Seattle's goal is to make Brandon Marshall correct and win the Super Bowl, and the best path there is a first-round bye, which only one team is getting this year in each conference. So it is critical because of the schedule that Mike Vick just laid out coming up, which isn't easy, that they not drop another game, which would then, by the way, potentially put them behind because of the tiebreaker Arizona. Green Bay's rolling. Like the winner of Tampa and New Orleans only going to have 2 losses. And then all of a sudden, you're in a fight for your life for the division, let alone the 1 seed. The Bills are competing for something else this year, which is why this game is so critical. To win the AFC East for the first time since the Clinton administration. And in order to do that, winning this game will go a massive way towards it because Buffalo still has on the schedule Pittsburgh. They have to go to Arizona. They have a matchup in New England when we assume New England will want revenge and will be playing better. So if the Bills win this game, Brandon, it's hard to create a path to them not getting the 10 wins they're going to need to win the division. But if they lose it, and you look at the schedule later in the year, to me, I would be concerned for them. So I think it's wildly important for both teams to achieve what their actual goals this season are.
Yeah, but Nick, I have to go with Seattle because the possibilities are bigger for them. Like you said, they're playing for a Super Bowl. This is a real possibility for them. When you look at Seattle and how they're made up, man, this is the year to get it out. And like I said all week, it's not a fad, it's not a trend. This guy's just progressing and trending in the right direction. He is really good at playing football. But then when you go to the other side, the Buffalo Bills, what's interesting is that they're 6-2. Their record is phenomenal. But it doesn't there's something's off. It doesn't feel right in Buffalo because the defensive side, the defensive line, they don't have what they need to get it done. And then the cornerbacks, they're in and out, banged up, and they don't have enough there. And the reason why that's scary is because they don't have a Russell Wilson on the other side to combat that. They got Josh Allen. And Josh Allen, as you guys know, I was super high on. This is a guy that at the beginning of the year was putting up MVP numbers. I compared his numbers to the 2018 Patrick Mahomes numbers. And then all of a sudden, he just started fading and trending in the wrong direction. Mike, I don't know what's going on with Josh Allen. This is a guy, for me, that has huge upside. He must be dealing with some type of injury because when you look at what he has there on the offensive side from Brian Daboll, an excellent offensive coordinator, come from your team, Wilds, the New England Patriots. He was also my offensive coordinator, so I know how he dials it up. I know how he relates to the player. And then you have 3 or 4 pass catchers that can get it done. So something's going on with Josh Allen. If he can get back on track, then we can then consider him back as a contender and put him in Nick's tiers as far as one of the better teams in the NFL.
Ooh.
Look, I think Nick is right. I think even though the Bills beat the Patriots still have a heartbeat. But this would be the stake in the Patriots' heart if they beat Seattle. Because, like, I think we're going to beat the Jets. I'm nervous about it, but I think we're going to beat the Jets. But if this is not, everyone in Patriot Nation's got this penciled down as a loss. If Buffalo comes out of here with a win and we're looking up like, oh, gosh, you guys got 7 wins.
Exactly right.
And we're not really worried about the Dolphins and his 90 yards with Tua's. Now, these dumb reports, now they even shaking Tua's confidence even more. Not worried about the Dolphins, obviously not worried about the Jets. Besides this week, I'm actually worried. So I think this is the actual one that could kill the dynasty, Nick.
So this is exactly right, and I just want to kind of play this out a bit. The Patriots are obviously sitting at 2-5. I think their best case scenario, and you can say this is unrealistic, but the best case scenario for them is they get to 10-6. They'd have to obviously go 8-1 the rest of the way. Probably isn't going to happen, but it's their best case scenario. If the Bills win this week and they're sitting at 7 wins, their worst case scenario is 10-6. And so if your best case is the equivalent of your opponent's worst case, and by the way, we're leaving out Miami, who I also think potentially maybe could get to 10 wins, I think more likely 9. I think Buffalo can, in the hearts of the country, clinch the division this week. On the flip side, if they lose and Josh Allen plays poorly against, historically speaking, a pass defense that is projected to be or pacing to be the worst in NFL history, then I think the Bills' confidence is shaken, the Patriots and Dolphins are a little buoyed, and we might have a race to the finish in the AFC East. So for Super Bowl potential, Seahawks, this game's way more important. For the winner of the, a divisional winner, I think this game could tell us a ton about the AFC East, Jenna.
Speaking of Tua, and speaking of the Dolphins, rather, it is Tua time in Miami, but